Okay, when it's recording, it'll say recording in the top left hand corner. To pause it. So you start at the front. Okay, have you towed anything before? Or are you actually towing, or are you setting up on site?
It's been set up on site.
So are you likely to tow it?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'll still explain. Also, have you towed anything before? Trailers or anything like that? No. Okay, so what you've got at the front here is the hitch that obviously connects to your tow ball. Okay, so that clamps it onto your tow ball. This is a alcohol stabiliser. What it's got inside is small friction pads that acts on the tow ball itself. So if you do get to towing it, it's got to be paint free, it's got to be grease free, the tow ball has. Otherwise, obviously, the friction pads are not going to work. Okay, if you do contaminate the friction pads, obviously they have to come out and they have to be cleaned. Okay. Also, it depends on if you get have you got a tow ball fitted to your vehicle yet?
Not yet. We're changing the vehicle, so.
Right, so you haven't got that for that. What you will need for this is, unless you have a swan neck type tow hitch, if you have a fixed one bolted on, so you can't see one here, she's right that one there. If you have one of them, a bolt-on one,
yeah,
you're going to need an alcove tow ball, which is slightly taller and slightly out. Okay, the reason for that is this hitch here is slightly different than an ordinary trailer hitch, as in this here can connect with the top of the tow ball itself and can actually damage these.
Right.
It can even shatter. So you have to make sure, if you've got a swan neck, that's fine. If you have a bolt-on one like that, you're going to have to make sure it's an alcove one. So if you are going to wherever you get it fitted, say it's for towing a caravan and it's for an alcove hitch.
Right.
So you need a different bit. They're no more expensive, I don't think, than the actual ordinary one. It's just
Is this a 3004, this hitch?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Alright, breakaway cable. Okay, that's there. You attach that normally around a fixing point on your tow bar, okay, or around your tow ball itself if you've got one of them swan type ones. Always clip it back on itself. I'll just get this off you. So if you imagine that's attaching to whichever anchor point you've got, always clip it back on itself like that, so that's as it's going to pull on. Do not use the clip to clip it on with. The clip can fail. It's obviously not designed to clip on like that because it can fail and fail to pull the handbrake on. So the reason what we got this here for is if the caravan comes unattached from the back of the car as you're travelling, that pulls the handbrake on, and as it says breakaway cable, it actually breaks away. And the caravan comes separate from your car then, but the caravan with this handbrake on. So always clip it back on itself on the cable like that. Okay. Okay, handbrake. Obviously that handbrake obviously stops you from rolling away, similar to your car. Jockey wheel. Okay, that's the clamp for the jockey wheel. So that winds the front of the caravan up or down. So it can be used obviously to get onto the car, but it can also be used to leveling the caravan up. Okay, so if you need to level the caravan up, it's obviously very important to make sure things like drains and things like that are level. If you imagine your sink moves on the side of a hill, the sink plug holes this side, obviously it's leaning that way, water's going to sit in your sink this way. Also, certain appliances don't like it if they're on quite a bit of a steep incline, so you have to make sure it's level. Okay, spirit level obviously is useful to make sure it's level. Side to side, to level up side to side, you probably need blocks. You can either get wooden blocks or you can get these plastic wedge shaped things, ramps that you can drive the caravan up onto.
Right.
Okay, so if you do see that it is off level that way, you probably see it's got a bit of a slight lean to that way at the moment anyway, because obviously we've got a drain there and obviously the concrete's going off and down that level. So we'd have to lift that side of the caravan up. Okay, so you just need to lift the one side up by driving it up onto a block. Okay. Once you've done that, level it front to back. Okay, as I said, what you do, just wind that up or down until it's level. Once you're using your spirit level. Once you've done that, then you can put the corner steadies down. Okay, there are points on the side. One either side, one there, one the other side, and two at the back. Okay, the steadies are there to, as it says, steady it. It's not there to lift the caravan, okay? And you're not there as a jack if you're going to punch it. Okay, if you're winding it up, trying to lift that wheel off, obviously you can likelihood of damaging your chassis. Okay, so there'll be a lot of strain on that centre bit. Okay? So wind them all down to the ground. Okay, what I tend to do just to check it, if it's still doing a bit of that, obviously they're not winding down enough. So at least do another half turn around as you go around, then check it again. And once it's solid, you know you're okay. All right?
Yep.
Okay, we'll look inside your gas locker now. Okay, obviously you've got propane attached. Have you ever been camping before?
No, not really.
Or used with propane or gas?
We've got gas at the house for the cooker.
Yeah, or off gas,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, what you'll probably possibly find that you might have the regulator actually attached to the cylinder, or possibly on that. With the caravan, it's got one, the regulator is actually attached to the caravan itself. Okay, you can use butane, which is the blue bottle, or propane, which obviously you've got fitted now, on that regulator. But if you decided to change to use butane, you'd have to change the pigtail, because obviously it's a different connection to the gas bottle. You're probably better off staying with propane. Propane you can use all year round. Okay, butane is best as a summer gas, because in the winter it doesn't gas off, so it wouldn't work if it got below, I think it's 4 degrees.
Okay.
Okay. Inside your gas locker, also got other bits and pieces. Wheel wrench. That's your winder handle to wind your legs down with. That's your wastewater pipe, which I'll show you the outlet there in a minute. These chemicals here, pink and blue, that's for your toilet, which I'll discuss that in a second. And also your 240 cable there as well. Okay. Also, obviously you've got your step, your mirrors for your car, Acro, which is obviously your water container, and Waste Master, which is obviously wastewater. Okay. We'll walk round the side now then. Here we've got water in. Okay. So you obviously have an Acro like that. Obviously fill it with water. Dip tube in the Acro. Get the pipe on and off. With that trigger there to pull it off. And just click it in to put it in. Okay. I'll show you how to get the water through inside once we get started. This is your vent for your hot water boiler on gas. Okay. This is the cover off it. If you want to use the hot water on gas, you have to take that cover off, or it'll just stop it. It'll just stop it, and obviously nothing will be happening. So you need it on gas, you need to take the lid off, or the cover off. If you're using it on electric, you don't need to take that off. Okay. Obviously we've got it all connected up with electric as well. So I plugged our electric into there. Safety when you're plugging your electric in, always connect it to caravan first. Unravel all your cable and connect it obviously to the bollard the other end. Always do it to caravan first. The reason is, if you connect it to your bollard first, obviously you've then got a live cable. If you've got a split in it or whatever and you're walking across wet grass, like you could get a shock. So obviously plug it into there first. Cable's not live until you actually plug it into your bollard. Okay, your motor mover. This is the isolating key for your motor mover. I'll show you that one after, once we've disconnected everything on the outside. And we've got your battery fitted there. Okay, there is also an external aerial point alongside there, so if you've got an external aerial, I'll just hear the gas firing up then. External aerial, you can plug it into there and that plugs it into the system. You know, obviously if you can plug your TV in on the inside.
Yeah.
Okay, motor mover, obviously sitting there in front of the wheel. I will show you that after. Okay, wastewater, so your sinks and your shower all come to them 2 outlets there, and then obviously your grey pipes plug into there and into your Waste Master. And obviously it collects all the water there.
Right.
Okay, toilet system. That's your waste tank. That's your flush tank. So a flush tank has pink chemical in it. So a small amount of pink chemical, and you top it up with water. Okay. Your waste tank has blue chemical in it with a small amount of water. Okay. The reason for the blue chemical is to break down the nasty stuff. The pink stuff, that's just to make it smell nice when you're flushing it.
Right.
Okay. To get the waste cassette out, just lift that handle there, okay, and it just should slide out easy. If it's not sliding out easy, possibility that the wastegate on the toilet is still open. If it's open, the waste cassette won't want to come out. I'll show you again that after. It needs to be shut before you can pull this out. Okay. It has got a handle, obviously wheels make it easier to go and empty it. So that's good timing for the compressor to kick in. Okay, to put your chemical in, through there. To empty it, it's through there. Okay. You've also got an air bleed button there as well. Obviously it allows it to come out easier. You know, a bit like if you try and empty a water bottle upside down, obviously it doesn't want to come out, so that's there for that reason. Be very careful when you go to empty it, because normally you have a big funnel and like a brick wall, that's where you go and empty it. don't put that on the brick wall, okay? If you put that lid on the brick wall and as you're doing it, go and knock it down the hole, one, the warden's not going to be very happy because you just probably blocked his sewer system, because you've just lost that down that hole and you don't want to be trying to attempting to fish it out. So always put it on the ground behind you, don't put it on that wall, just in case you do knock it off. Okay? Washing it, or cleaning it, what you tend to do is just put some water in it, slosh it around it, don't thrash it about. If you thrash it out, there's a little float inside here, which is an indicator for when it's full, which is on top of the flush tank inside the toilet. If you thrash it around too much, it could dislodge it, and that could end up going down the plug hole as such as well. Right. So don't thrash it around too hard because it can dislodge it. Okay, and then that just clicks back in. Under here, on a little plastic ledge, is a drain for your flush tank. So okay, so very important for winter. Make sure that the fluid is fully out of your flush tank. Obviously, water and frost and caravans don't mix. You can drain, if you've got a reasonable amount in there, you can either drain it into here, or you can drain it into another container and save it to use it at a later date. Then just the last bit, just drain it through there. Okay. There was something else in my head and I've just forgotten what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that was it. Obviously it's got a pump which actually operates the flush, which pushes the flush system out. Obviously operating that as well, make sure that any fluids out of that as well for the winter. Obviously you don't want water still trapped in the pump because that can obviously damage as well. Okay? Okay. Yep. Following us so far? There's a lot to, you think there's a hell of a lot to think about.
You know when you're on about the hot water to the gas or the electric?
Yeah.
Is there how do you select which one you use?
I'll show you that. I'll show you that, yeah. I'm just showing you the vent outside, okay, but I'll run through everything inside as well. Right. Okay? Your points for your winder legs, they're the rear ones. Okay? So you wind them down. We tend to use a drill, obviously for speed. So if you've got one of these drills at home, which most people have, if you get one of them, it's so much quicker. Obviously, that goes, especially in the summer, or if you turn up like this time of year, it's raining. The last thing you want to be doing is that and getting soaked, which I did just before Christmas. If you were doing that one by hand, I'd have all the other three done with using this by the time you've just done that one. So it is worth. Plus energy used to operate it as well. Yeah. Obviously a lot easier. Okay, down the side of the van. Not too much to see. Up from 240 inch awning, if you've got an awning, obviously. Gas barbecue point is there as well. Obviously don't use a gas barbecue inside the awning, obviously obvious reasons of obviously setting on fire or obviously carbon monoxide poisoning. You've got a locker there, obviously you can see inside, there's not a massive load of storage you can put in there, but obviously it says available. Nice, whoever that was. And also that is your alarm box, okay? That does run off the leisure battery, which is your battery on the other side. If that's either you've taken that out to charge it or that battery is flat, it has got its own battery, so it will run off that as well. As soon as you plug 240 in, it will start charging your battery back up again. Okay? Yeah. Okay, this is an important safety thing. Each time before you go travelling, always make sure you check the wheel nuts, okay? The torque spanner is very useful. I will use my torque spanner when we're finished, just to double check before you leave. Well, there again, you're not taking it away with you, but so it's very important, especially if you sit on site for a while. Make sure you torque it before you move it off. Okay, the reason for that is obviously you don't want the wheel falling off for a start. There have been a few occasions there was problems with Baileys a couple of years ago, brand new Baileys, but the wheels were coming off. They weren't quite sure what was happening. So this is obviously the industry is now, make sure you check these wheel nuts. Normally after you've taken the wheel off, so if you had a punch and you put your spare one on, make sure, they reckon after about 30 miles to check it again, just in case you haven't quite tightened it. Also after service. So anytime that wheel comes off, always has to be checked again, say another 30 miles down the road. Okay, it's 130 Newton meters. It is in your handbook, so if you forget that, it's there anyway. Okay. Okay. What's that yellow dot? That yellow dot is it's a receiver for an alcohol wheel lock. Right. Okay. Which I think there's one inside there actually. I think. Oh no, there isn't. Sorry.